Before the season about home and taking care of home better than past seasons?
No, we haven't said anything about it. Obviously, outside of just it being the Garden and being at home and playing in front of the crowd that we have all the time, we haven't really spent too much time deciding what the difference is.
Keep your finger on why.
Small sample size. We only lost 5 games too, so.
True, but then the playoffs. I mean,
I know.
Game
Yeah.
7,
yeah.
So
yeah.
I mean, how does that resonate with you? Does that frustrate you that you don't take care of home court in those situations, or is it just that?
I mean, there's two sides to look at it, because then you could say like we're really tough to go win on the road. So like there's two sides to that, and I think it's more about just learning about what leads to winning regardless. I think that's the thing that I'm trying to really make clear to everybody in our team in general is like the things that lead to winning are the things that lead to winning regardless of where you play, and the hardest thing to do are those things all the time. And so we have to just continue to fight for that mindset.
What's the biggest difference you noticed with Sam Hauser now compared to when he first arrived here in that development phase?
Yeah. One, he understands his role. Two, he's a much better defender and continues to grow at defense and continues to get better. And just his ability to be more than a shooter. And so he can screen, he runs in transition, his crashing, and so just not being defined by one thing, but finding small areas to affect the game.
You guys always talk about attacking this match offensively. Defensively, is there kind of something to, if they're going out of their offense to attack him?
I think it's great. I love it. He gets as many reps as he needs.
Joe, did you watch the in-season tournament?
No.
Should that serve as motivation for the players? Should that you just move on? Like, how do you kind of take? No one knows what to do now. The season resumes.
Well, that was my whole point in the beginning. Is like if we're going to use all of our emotional energy to do this one thing, and we still have 61 games left. What's going to be our motivation after that? And so, are we frustrated that we didn't get a chance to win a championship? Yes, but do we have to see that the things that go into winning a championship are the things that go into winning on a Monday night in the middle of January when no one really wants to play? And so, like, we're really fighting for that mindset and that identity. Is can things be important all the time? But yeah, it's pissed off that you don't get a chance to win at it. But like, we have to fight for that mindset all the time.
How hard is that fight?
It depends. I mean, I'm sure there's moments where it's hard, and there's moments where it's like, if you want to do it, this is what you have to do. And so I think it's just kind of looking at that. Obviously an 82-game season, you're going to have lapses. You're going to have things that you're executing really well, and then you're going to have things that you need to go back to and remind our guys of what you're doing. And so it's constantly just staying in that mindset of like, are we playing hard, and are we getting better at the things that we're emphasizing, and just trying to keep that balance of those things.
You got a group here that's been to the finals, been to the conference finals. They know how long of a road this is. This is about the time of year, maybe the next month or so, that they start to slow down. Like, when I say how hard is it, I mean, that's something you are going to have to fight against.
Yeah, and can you remind yourself of what it's funny, like when you set goals, you set them when you're healthy, when you're not sore, when you haven't played yet, when there's no stats, and when you haven't had to go through 3 days. And so I think it's like goal setting should happen right now, when you're tired, when you're a little sore, when maybe you're playing well or you're not playing well. But it's like, that's like the mental toughness aspect of can we remember what our goals are and do them at times that we don't really feel like doing it. And that's the challenge, I think, for everybody, right? That's life.
You said at the start of the year, you were asked about starting lineups. A lot of the matchups, you kind of think that's something like asking a game 28 or 27 lineup. It seems like aside from injuries, you kind of settled on one. What kind of led you to that point?
I mean, I think that will come in time. I think you're trying to still develop an identity. I think, as you get closer and further along in the season, you might go to stuff like that. But I think they play really well together. I think they have one of the highest net ratings. So it's kind of worked out. I like the lineups that we're going to when we split up into them. We found an identity in second units, and so you don't really want to mess with that. And I like our second unit identities. And, just finding those ways to get better on that, knowing there will be times where we can do that. And like you said, I think when you use injuries and back-to-backs, you can kind of get to some different stuff, like starting Bant in one game. I thought was good for us to see something different. I think Sam has gotten in there a little bit. So just looking for areas to do that differently.
It's been kind of an unusual stretch. I think 6 days off in the last week. Just how have you guys used that to your advantage?
Rest and then practice, and then just again, it's good to be able to take a step back and say where are we at and what are we doing well and where we can get better.